These are some of the biggest news stories of 2021. The year 2021 presented the usual mixed bag in terms of the news. There were the usual great personal accomplishments, especially in an Olympic year, the questionable happenings, a murderous cult, the persistent crime problem, and the plain and bizarre. Scandals and the seemingly unending COVID-19 pandemic also dominated the news in the year under review.
Teach them! Always make sure the message will reach them!
Kevin Smith and the Pathways International Cult. Jamaicans at home and abroad were hit by the shocking news on the evening of Sunday, October 17, that several members of a religious organization described as a cult were killed during what was said to be a sacrificial event. That news and that which followed, including the bizarre death of Pastor Kevin Smith, dominated the airways and newspapers, not only in Jamaica but far beyond. Placed front and center of the news cycle for weeks afterwards was Smith, his Pathways International Restoration Ministries, and his dedicated flock that worshipped him. The Connie Jackson murder. March saw the brutal murder of 20-year-old accounting clerk Connie Jackson of Portmore, St. Catherine. Jackson went missing on the 24th of March after leaving home for work. Her body was found 2 days later off the Dyke Road close to the Portmore fishing village. A post-mortem examination determined that the young lady had been strangled. A 50-year-old mechanic, Robert Fowler, who was known to the victim and who often transported her to work, confessed to the murder. He is behind bars awaiting trial. History in the JDF, as Commodore Antoinette Gorman will be the next Army Chief. The news in September that Jamaica will soon have its first female Chief of Defence Staff was met with elation throughout the country. Career soldier Commodore Antoinette Gorman will take over in January when the current head, Lieutenant General Rocky Meade, proceeds on retirement. Gorman will be promoted to the rank of Rear Admiral in January. General Meade has served the JDF for 38 years. He was appointed Chief of Defence Staff in December of 2016. 48-year-old Gorman was among 3 senior JDF officers who were interviewed for the position. Her 29 years of service has been characterized by notable achievement and exceptional service to the JDF. George Wright, the man with the stool, beginning in April with a viral video, and for several months afterwards, the most talked about story in Jamaica centered on first-term parliamentarian, the Jamaica Labour Party's George Wright. The question on the lips of every Jamaican was, who is the man in the video? Wright, who wrested the previously impregnable Westmoreland Central constituency from the People's National Party in the September 2020 general election, is believed to have been the man who was caught on a poor-quality video recording dealing a vicious beating to a woman, who was later identified as his common-law wife, Tanisha Singh. She had to seek medical attention. Oxygen shortage amidst Delta third wave. A shortage of medical-grade oxygen in late August, when Jamaica was battling a deadly third wave of the coronavirus, brought on by a highly contagious Delta variant, and which may have contributed to a number of deaths, led to calls for an independent inquiry which the government is yet to endorse. Hospital CEOs from around the country made desperate pleas for the life-saving oxygen on the weekend of August 26 to 29, as bed occupancy from COVID-19 infections rose, pushing both hospitals and healthcare workers to breaking point. Vaccine mandates. As it relates to vaccine mandates, Jamaica's Supreme Court in December refused to grant injunctions blocking the implementation of mandatory COVID vaccine policies by telecommunications provider Digicel and CariMed Limited pending trial. This means that employees of the two companies must comply with COVID vaccination or undergo routine testing at their own expense. The employees had argued that their constitutional rights were being breached and some had refused to get vaccinated on health grounds. However, the court countered, arguing that the companies had a duty to protect all employees. BlackmanBryann and the Klansman trial. The gripping trial of the so-called one-done gang faction of the notorious Klansman gang, which is based in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, has the rapt attention of the entire country, with former gang members turned state witness spilling their guts, the details of the inner happenings of the gang, allegedly led by BlackmanBryann, are being revealed to an attentive audience. The accused are being tried under the Criminal Justice Suppression of Criminal Organizations Amendment Act, more commonly called the anti-gang legislation, with several facing additional charges under the Firearms Act for crimes allegedly committed between 2015 and 2019. All 33 accused, who are being tried under an indictment containing 25 counts, when arraigned on September 20 at the start of the trial, pleaded not guilty to the charges against them. The offences for which they are being tried include being part of a criminal organization, murder, conspiracy to murder, arson, illegal possession of firearm, and illegal possession of ammunition. Bryann is charged with, among other things, being the leader of a criminal organization. Darpa's last bark. Accused gang leader Christopher Darpa Linton was shot and killed during a reported shootout with the police on the afternoon of Monday, October 11, along the Elliston Flats Main Road in St. Andrew. This was barely 6 months after he had his conviction and 15-year sentence for supposedly shooting at the police overturned in the Court of Appeal. He was 8 years into the sentence, which was handed down in 2013. The police said that in the short time that he and his co-accused, Micah Allen, were freed, Darpa, who shares a child with Leah Tavares Finson, the daughter of Senate President Tom Tavares Finson, had been implicated in several murders. The Jamaica College old boy was among 4 people who were shot and injured by unknown assailants in the Cane River area of Bull Bay, St. Andrew on June 26th. PNP's mass resignations. On July 16, the widely publicized divisions inside the People's National Party grew even wider with the mass resignation of the party's vice presidents, Damian Crawford, Dr. Wickham McNeil, and Michael Phillips, as well as party chairman Philip Paulwell. A joint statement from the 4 said that the move was prompted based on a recognition of the risk that may arise from another internal election before the wounds of the last presidential elections were adequately healed. It was revealed shortly after that PNP Youth Organization President Crystal Tomlinson also resigned her post. The Ruth Then Towers saga. The National Housing Trust (NHT) was thrown into the spotlight in November when the entity that is known for constructing low-income housing for Jamaicans placed the pricey Ruth Then Towers in the heart of New Kingston on the market. Unit prices ranged from as low as $27.7 million to a high of $37.7 million, out of the reach of a majority of contributors. Following much criticism, including from a former NHT chairman Howard Mitchell, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who has portfolio responsibility for the NHT, announced that phase 2 of the development would be put on hold. He had put up a stout defense of the project and sought to brush aside criticism as public distraction. All 86 units have been sold. The Montague controversies. Calls have been mounting for Prime Minister Andrew Holness to drop the controversy-plagued Ministry of Transport and Mining Robert Montague from his cabinet. Controversy and scandals have followed Montague throughout his time in the executive. The much-travelled Montague has served as Minister of Agriculture, National Security, and now Transport and Mining. In November, Montague sacked the boards of the Airport Authorities of Jamaica and the Norman Manley International Airport amid the heat he was taking in relation to the controversial US $3 million or 450 million Jamaican dollars investment in the startup entity First Rock Capital Holdings without the requisite permission from the Ministry of Finance. He was also thrown into the spotlight after questions were raised about the questionable award of millions of dollars in contracts at the Clarendon Alumina Partners. Montague has insisted he has done nothing wrong. Elaine's exploits. Despite courting controversy, the indomitable Elaine Thompson proved in 2021 that she is the dominant female sprinter in the world. That dominance saw her emerge with not just 3 more Olympic medals, but a string of honors and awards. The former MVP-based athlete, who severed ties with the club that guided her career from 2014 and to 5 gold medals at the Olympics, was in December conferred with an honorary Doctor of Laws degree by the University of Technology UTech. She was also crowned Female World Athlete of the Year. Thompson retained her Olympic 100 and 200 meter titles at the Tokyo Olympics. She also added a 3rd gold medal to her Tokyo Olympic collection when Jamaica's female 4x1 relay team stormed across the line in 1st place in the 2nd fastest time in history. On top of her stellar Olympic triple, she also clocked world leading times of 10.54 and 21.53 seconds over the 100 and 200 meters respectively, making her the 2nd fastest female of all times over both distances.
Teach them. Hey, yo, yellow. Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here. Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them.